If I was going to do a kill dozer, I would do it to the toll system. Who are the toll people? My card was disconnected from Easy Pass.
I was there for this conversation.
Enlighten me.
Talking to some poor woman on Easy Pass.
Well, let me just say this.
Scott started going in. He like pulled out his taxes. He's like, I've been paying taxes for 10 years.
Right.
I drive on the roads every single day. Okay, I don't know if you guys know this. You guys have an Easy Pass?
I do.
No, I'm anti-Easy Pass.
You're anti-Easy
Pass.
Pass. So I would be until I had it, but now I see how much I was paying. Because who the fuck has 75 cents just laying around every day, all the time? Okay, yeah. Nobody's in the fucking toll booth. So anyway, my card was disconnected from Easy Pass. I didn't realize it because if you keep a low balance in Easy Pass, it'll say call control center. Right?
As you drive through.
Because it wants to let you know that you have a low balance. Right?
It wants you to give them more money.
It wants you to give them more money. So I was ignoring that. Then also I got my mail and I had all these violations.
Fines.
And I called them up and they're like, for $60 of missed tolls, they wanted $2,000 from me. And I said, all right, listen, I said 1 month ago, the card was disconnected. It was a mistake. Okay. I didn't realize that this is what was happening. You know, what can you do? And they're like, nothing.
Like, okay.
You have to, and then they're like, well, we could take off $500. You can give us $1,500, and we'll let you get Easy Pass back. We'll take care of this today. I said, the fucking.
So you unbeknowingly, whatever, you racked up $2,000 worth of tolls.
Well, no. It was $60 in tolls, but the fines is
fines $2,000.
Yeah,
fines.
So I paid the
because every time is $50.
Every time is $50. Okay, so it's like 1 month of driving. I take the Parkway every single day. I take the Turnpike. $20 on the fucking Turnpike.
That's insane.
It's nuts, right?
You remember when that was supposed to go away when the roads were?
The Parkway was supposed to be free.
It paid for it.
Bro, when I was driving to Newark 6 days a week at my old job, my Easy Pass bill a month was $350.
Yeah.
My father pays for that still. and that shit's in the will.
It's in the will.
Talk about local heroes.
Bro. No, John. No, I don't.
But
think
you don't have a real life instance of this?
No, I never had someone really fuck with the family. But I think that's where I draw the line. Like if you start fucking with my family or my loved ones.
Yeah.
And like you guys are included in that.
Me?
Yeah. Us, yeah.
Oh.
You know,
yeah, like for your friends.
Yeah, I could do some
like
unreasonable
like Costa
shit.
Nostra kind of
stuff.
Just
like 8 ball and a sock and boom.
Yeah. What about you? You've ever?
Well, I don't.
You ever been pushed in that position?
I mean, I told you, and I mean, I never even realized it until you kind of just brought it up. I'm adamantly against Easy Pass. I very rarely pay tolls, and I don't get tickets anymore.
You don't get tickets for blowing tolls?
No.
I don't know how he doesn't. That's weird.
I throw handfuls of whatever's in my car.
That's what I'm. That's the method I'm doing. Is the beeping and making the gesture.
That's it. You gesture.
Pennies.
Like, oh, it didn't turn green.
The beep isn't a thing. I've talked to people that work in the toll. The beeping is not. It's a made up. It's like a what do they call, like an old wives' tale.
Yeah, I think it was for people who, like, when somebody was standing there, you let them know, like, you pick that shit up. You know.
Yeah. Grab that.
Yeah.
I just missed.
Why did anybody pay tolls before the cameras and stuff?
Honor system.
It was like 15 cents. So I guess.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a funny story. There was a time when I was much younger, and I used to commute to Newark and back a fair amount. For work.
For what? For work.
For work, yeah. And
Sherm.
Yeah.
It's wet.
He definitely wasn't getting Sherm. He was getting pistol whipped by the same guy. And still going back to him.
Owed him $10.
So there was a point where I was allowed to use the what I thought was my car, but it really wasn't. It was just a spare car in the household because it wasn't in my name. I was allowed to use it to go to school and back. And so I had to do whatever I had to do in that time frame, and obviously I had to make a choice between school or
going to work.
Going to work, and that my cover got blown because I was getting photos mailed to me of me in the Newark, the exit 142 toll plaza. Looking on the ground for change.
Not even for the toll, for personal use, to buy a Lucy.
Yeah. And that's how the cameras at the toll plazas back in over 20 years ago hemmed me up.
Yeah.
142.
Cat was
and then they sent you to through the woods.
Iowa.
Everywhere, yeah.
Or
With
no,
Donnie.
Seattle.
Donnie was your camp counselor.
Donnie
He wrote a book about it.
Seattle. Yeah, I'd never been pushed to that limit, I don't think.
No.
I boycotted Staten Island for a little bit because I got robbed.
But you never,
I didn't like.
You never thought about
I
John
never thought
Wicking?
about, I never thought about like planting a bomb there and blowing up.
You
the
never
whole
thought about it?
shit
Didn't it like
island.
cross your mind?
Fucking hate Staten Island though.
I go through. I have intrusive thoughts.
Yeah.
When things happen.
Good.
You know, I really have to reel it back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should talk about that in therapy.
I do.
Okay. Good.
Intrusive thoughts. That's a whole hour right there. Of
We could leave mom aside for this session. I'm going to talk about my intrusive thoughts.
intrusive thoughts. About
I saw Scott take a TV off a guy's wall once. I don't know if we're allowed to talk about that.
I heard about that story. That's pretty great.
I literally found a text message of me texting him after where I said basically, look, I'm sorry that it happened like that, but you owed me some money. So
Consider yourself lucky.
Yeah. We're even.
All right,
I was
we're
a different guy back
We're
then.
taking a TV.
I was a different. You want to hear that story? The guy owed me some money once. Well, actually, technically, he owed John some money, right? But I was trying to teach John like a lesson, like a son. So we got in I picked him up. I said, we're getting in
He
the car.
owed me money. I owed Scott money.
Did I make you drive or did I drive?
I drove.
You drove.
Yeah.
So we got now the kid owed some money, but he was we found out that he was probably using some drugs.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm like really mad. You know, it's like it's not a lot of money, but it's enough money for me to be fucking aggravated about. You know, it's the principle of it.
Enough to make an exam. Enough to get in the car.
And this is a guy I knew. Like I knew him pretty well. Like I wouldn't say he was a friend, but I wouldn't say he wasn't a friend. You know, he's like a satellite friend, friend of a friend of a friend.
Okay.
So I said, John, we're gonna have to teach you a lesson like in the movies,
like a Bronx Tale.
like a Bronx Tale. John got in the car.
Up in.
Or no, I got in John's car.
I remember on the drive home, on the drive there, Scott said to me, he's like, you know, we might go to jail tonight.
And John was like, shit.
I was like, what? I mean, as long as Scott's coming, I don't
I was pretty sure it would be a simple assault, but in hindsight, that would have been we would have gotten a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, armed robbery. Well, not armed
No,
robbery.
it would have
he
been
gave
home
it to- he gave it to Scott.
Home invasion.
home invasion. I mean, if he wanted to start,
He invited you in.
He did. So we pull up magically. This kid's using drugs, so the chances of him being home
Anywhere.
and he was pulling in to his as we were pulling up, right?
Yeah, to the neighborhood. Like he pulled.
We pulled in and we
ahead
pulled
of
in
us,
behind him.
And the car had an underground nutrition sticker on it.
We get out of the car and I'm like, Dave, what's up, bro? you got some money for me? And it got what happened? I don't even remember how we ended up in the house and me taking his TV off his wall, saying I was gonna.
I think you said I gotta leave here with something. I gotta leave. I didn't drive all the way down here.
I didn't drive down here to hear
For nothing. To hear an excuse.
His girlfriend was like she was she wasn't using drugs, and his girlfriend was like, "Please don't kill us. I'm not here for you. You can pay his debt. I will let you pay his debt."
Right.
And then he gave me his TV, and we left. That is an example of I was being reasonable. We asked him very nicely for a period of time, "Can you please pay me the money that you owe me?" And he was ghosting me, and I had to act unreasonably.
Now, let me ask you a question. When you went to college for those couple of years,
Yeah,
and you know what I mean when I say you went to college,
yeah.
did you have to do anything unreasonable in there?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
I want to hear one of those stories. I don't know if this will make the final edit.
I'm taking my part out. So
What?
You gonna leave your
part out.
butthole part out?
You don't have. I know the story you're gonna tell. I don't think you should tell that one.
Which one?
There's got to be a different one.
Don't tell.
Don't tell the
you're
one.
the one that you should tell it.
No, that you might. Donnie might think differently of you.
What, the pedophile?
I don't know. Is that what he was?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Tell your story. I don't.
Rock out.
Just
No.
don't put it. I don't care if it's on a podcast.
I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could tell this story.
Is there
Okay.
like a?
All right. I'm
what's it
sorry for
called?
bringing it up.
No. I'm trying to think if there was like a smaller one.
What about the guy that was calling you? What did he call you? He called you a different name. Thought you had a different name. You saw him on the boardwalk.
Oh, HB, right? Or are you talking about HB?
No, the guy that he called you. He thought your name was like.
Joe. Okay, yeah. I don't know if this really fits, but it is a pretty funny prison story. This was in the county. Oh man, I don't know how this will translate. So, I mean, I don't know. I'll just give it a little back.
The party boy story is good.
Party boy, yeah, but that's a little. There's some like affiliations and stuff. We don't want to do all that. I don't know. That was over some chicken, you know.
Yeah.
I was being reasonable.
What about the guy that said he knew your girlfriend?
Oh, well, again, I wasn't being reasonable.
Yeah.
At no point in that
you
story
were
was I a reasonable guy.
No, you were being unreasonable.
The guy came up to me. He said,
it wasn't
he
a
said,
reasonable-
"I know your girlfriend," and I said, "What the fuck did you say to me?" He's like, "I know Diana. There's a fucking girl I had tattooed on my neck who's dead now. God rest her soul." And I said, just because he said her name out loud to me in the day room, I made him pay me rent. Not only did he pay me. Not only did he pay me rent while he was there, but he paid me rent when he went to state prison. He
was putting money in your commissary from state prison?
He was sending money.
Oh my god.
Because I told him I was going to send word. I couldn't imagine, like, who would I send word to? Be like, yo, you got to check this kid. He said he knew my girlfriend on the street.
Oh my god, you played them.
Like, what did you mean by that?
Goons up in state prison?
No, I'll tell you the story about the kid that I ended up seeing outside of jail. So it was me. Prison life's a little weird, the politics of it, but at this point I've had time in on the tier. So for that particular, for the white boys on the tier, I was that dude, right? So I'm sitting on top of the.
You could be completely making this out.
You have no idea. Well, Johnny Williams would have. He co-signed. Johnny Williams was.
God rest his soul.
God rest his soul. R.I.P. Johnny. But he was on the tier with me when this happened, right? So
did he beat somebody up for walking on a floor that he just mopped?
He did. He racked him with the mop bucket. Walking on his mop floor.
Got pissed
There's
off.
politics, bro. You don't walk on someone's
Yeah, of
mop
course.
floor. You
Yeah.
don't do that. There's a couple things you don't do. You never say suck my dick. You don't reach over someone's food, and you don't walk on a mop floor. Everybody knows
The
these.
third one is a real thing.
What, walking on a mop floor?
Yeah.
Like because self-sanitation, there's two types of people. There's fucking dirtbags, and then there's the people who are like,
Keep it clean.
keep it clean.
Yeah.
You know? And so if you just mop your floor, they were crazy. They would get wax their floors.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I
Like
thought
that
he
shit-
was
like it was like
waxing
their
the
car.
cafeteria.
No, he might have. I think he was doing his job.
Yeah.
But he just mopped it, and there's nothing worse than mopping a floor and then
there's
somebody's
footprints.
stupid footprints or your
Yeah.
Bobos fucking
I
walking.
get mad
across.
when I do it in the gym and
the bathroom,
you know,
yeah.
and somebody walks in the
Yeah, it's a
bathroom at like
fucking chicletas,
9:59. I'm like, fuck, man.
Yeah. So I may. Do you want to hear the story? All right. So we're sitting at the top tier, where I'm in a gray sweat outfit because I'm like leveling up. You know, like the fucking video games. I'm like leveled up, right? I got a little fucking homemade Scully, right? Fresh shape up from the tranny on the tier who does it with a nail clipper, right? But we keep the door open because you don't want anybody to think anything. She, I'm going to use the right pronoun, gave a sick fade with a nail clipper, right? So,
A nail clipper.
bro, I don't even know. It's the craziest thing ever. You literally use clippers and a nail clipper to give fucking fades, like skin fades. Call them kufi fades because it looked like you had a kufi
You
on.
had a kufi on?
So this guy walks in. It was like fresh meat time, like you see in the movies, and it was fucking new people came in, and it was a white guy, right? So that's, I mean, race in jail is everything. Like the blacks expect you to figure out who's coming on the tier. The blacks aren't going to check. The Mexicans aren't going to check. They got a weird looking black guy come on the tier. They're going to check to see what they're about. So I see the guy. He's like pacing back and forth, being like talking to himself. And I'm like, Johnny, look at this fucking, look at this tree jumper. We got a fucking live one, right? He just looked like a chomo. He was acting weird. He was really nervous. And usually when guys like that, they're either kicking drugs or they got some weird ass charge. And he just looked weird. So I was like, I'm like, yo. And he looks up and I'm like, come here. And he's like being fucking weird. I'm like, what? Come fucking here. Come up here. So he comes up. God, I wish I could remember like all of the circumstances. But I basically said, so what are you here for? Right? And he said some weirdo, wacko shit, like the bitch deserved it. Now, in jail, it's like there's this weird moral thing where it's like, for all of a sudden, everybody's sticking up for fucking women. Like
and children.
Yeah, like, but you don't allow rapists, you don't allow kid touchers.
Yeah.
And if it's a white dude, you better the white guys are expected to handle it. Black dudes are expected,
Yeah,
nobody interferes with that kind of shit.
Maybe
So
like Kingstown shit.
I said, what are you here for? He's like, this fucking bitch. He's like acting. I said, what? And I said, what are you here for? And he said something crazy. And I'm walking into the cell, and I was like, basically like, he's like, I'll fight anybody. That's what he says. I'll fight anybody. I said, well, congratulations, you're gonna fight me. Right?
Ding, ding, ding. You won.
He comes in the room with me. And I'm like, I'm 220. I'm working out. I've been fighting I've been in jail for a minute, fighting once a week. No, not that much. But he comes in, and I grabbed him by his shirt, and I fucking pulled him towards me like this to hit him. And they had these metal shelves. And he busted his eye on it, and it knocked him down. He thought I punched him in the face, but he didn't realize like what happened, right? So he got fucking completely wrecked by the shelf because I like yanked him. I didn't mean to do that, and so he was knocked out, blood open, his eye open. Yeah. I'm like, oh my god, here we go. I'm going to jail, right?
You're going to jail.
I'm going to jail. I'm going to
jail.
jail, right? And then so they get him out, everybody fucked with each other there. Blood's fucked with, so they're like, you gotta get this guy fuck out. Put him in his fucking room, cleaned him up, and he didn't say nothing.
Oh, nice.
Right? And then food came around. He ended up getting commissary, giving me commissary. He had a fucking shiner out to here, and he kept saying, Joe, you hit hard. Right?
Damn right I did.
And then, 4 years later, I'm in fucking AC on the boardwalk, and he's like, I hear this guy. He's like, Joe, Joe, and I'm like, what's this fucking guy who fucking thinks I broke his fucking face? Turns out he was there for drunk driving. So,
was he drunk when this happened?
Dude, he was just a fucking weirdo. He had some kind of mental illness.
Yeah,
and he never said nothing. The cops saw his face. He never said anything, and they did a knuckle check. And all the blood and everything was cleaned up. He never said nothing. He was actually a stand-up guy.
Thanks, Joe.
In case he's watching. Joe.
I'm not sure that was a reasonable guy.
No, but it's a cool story.
But he put me in a position to have to.